This is the first part in a 3-part series discussing the Nintendo Switch successor. Now, I love speculating. When I'm not getting drunk at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday, I'm thinking about the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know why. It's just very entertaining. I've noticed on Nintendo media, social media, speculating can be seen as looking down on, but I love it. I frankly do. I find it almost half as enjoyable as actually playing a video game. So today, I'm going to be sitting down and discussing my thoughts about what the Nintendo Switch 2 will be like. Now, to start off, I want to be going over the general design of the console. This is going to be more realistic and less of a wishes, but later on in the video I will go over some hopes that may be more outlandish. But for now, I want to go over the general design of the console and its power and stuff like that. So I first want to start off by saying I think it'll be an 8-inch 1080p screen. Now, I know people, especially in the Nintendo community, it seems like, that they just write off leaks altogether, but if you actually know what to look for, there's some solid information, and I believe the 8-inch 1080p screen info that we got has been reiterated and corroborated a bunch of times, so I think that is very likely. And even in a more general sense, it makes, more sense just going off of what they did with the Switch 1 and now progressing onto a Switch 2 type console. I think it would be better because the Switch 1 had a pretty shitty screen. I think we can all say that. I mean, they even updated it with the OLED, so yes, I also don't think it'll be an OLED. That's not a very hot take. It sucks, but I think that's what we're gonna get. Now, next up, we gotta talk about the Joy-Cons. Okay, the Joy-Cons, let's just be honest here, they suck. Well, maybe that's a little bit harsh, but they are not good. They have a lot of technology in them, which is pretty cool. They're gyro and the HD rumble, but there's no analog triggers. The D-pad is pretty bad. Actually, it's worse than bad. It's not even a D-pad. And the sticks, wow, they are not fun to play on. Like the first day I got my Switch, on the launch day in 2017, that was a good memory. I just remembered I have to get a Pro Controller because this D-pad, this whole controller setup was not going to work. So I think with the Switch 2, they're going to update the Joy-Cons. I still think the original Joy-Cons will be compatible with the next Switch, but I think it'll just be available through a wireless Bluetooth type system. It's come out about magnetic Joy-Cons being the case, and some people seem pretty iffy on the idea, but we've already seen this done in a different handheld console. I forgot exactly what it was called. I might throw it up on screen, but there was a PC handheld device sort of like this Steam Deck, but it had magnetic Joy-Con like controllers, and that seemed to work out okay. And plus, this is Nintendo. They iterate on stuff, and they're a billions of dollars company, so I'm pretty sure they can figure something out on that front. I'm not too worried about that. I also think it'd be better than having those finicky rail system, working. I think that would be good. I think they'll be a little bit bigger. I think they'll attach magnetically. Hopefully they have analog triggers. Like, please, that would be awesome. Hopefully a D-pad. I'm still not sure about that. People were discussing the colored buttons about games having it a while ago, and yeah, that might be the case, and I think that would be cool, so I would hope for the colored buttons, because that'd be just cool, instead of the gray and white. Yeah, just better all around, hopefully. Now, onto the backwards compatibility discussion. I think, and as time has gone on, it was more of a discussion back then, but now it seems almost a given that it's going to be backwards compatible, and I feel like that is the case, for sure. I mean, if you look at their previous consoles, well, let's not go too far back, because they haven't been doing backwards compatibility for that long. It was the GameCube to the Wii, I know, and then the Wii to the Wii U, and so those only 2 generations, or 4 technically, of backwards compatibility, and they couldn't really do it with the Wii U. I mean, I guess they could if they really wanted to, but it just made more sense for it not to be, and I get that. But with a Switch successor, and Nintendo's already called it that themselves, I think it's a given. I said that a couple times, but it's almost for sure, because they could either upsell, like when the PlayStation 4 did the PS4 Pro, they did updates to already existing PS4 games, and I think it'll be a situation like that, except I'm not entirely sure how they'll do it, but I will think they will have some sort of system in place, so you'll get an update for the games on the Switch that you already owned, or you can buy in, you'll get the Switch 2 experience. Personally, I think they might tie it in with the Nintendo Switch Online. Like, if you have Switch Online, then you can get the update for free, or you could pay like $5 or $10 to get the updated version. So yes, on backwards compatibility. Now I want to discuss the power of the system. Now, I'm sort of a PC elitist snob, but I have a PC, I have my Switch, and I have, No, that's all I have. I used to be a big Xbox guy, but once I got my computer, I just kind of went from there. But I always have to have my Switch. So I have my PC and my Switch, and listen, I like pretty looking games. I don't see why we can't have a more powerful Switch, because for some reason, power in Nintendo community seems to be like almost looked down upon for some reason. But let's be honest with ourselves, the Switch 1 is severely underpowered. It was underpowered at the time. That doesn't mean you can't make good games for it, but it also doesn't mean that we can't have more power to make stuff look better and just run better and have better experiences. So getting into more brass tacks, I think it'll be around a PS4 to PS4 Pro when in handheld, more along the lines of a PS4 in handheld, just for power or battery, I mean. And then around an Xbox Series S when docked. Now that is a lofty goal. I think it'll be more around the lines of in the middle between a PS4 Pro and Xbox Series S, in that sort of nebulous region, because I think they will use DLSS. They are partnering with NVIDIA again to make their chipset, and DLSS is really good. I use it on my games all the time. I just played Red Dead Redemption 2 and I use DLSS, and that runs great. But it's also not the magic tool that some people like to think it is. Like, it will help significantly, and there will be games that can run in 4K with that power. I mean, you could have a bunch of games, but not all games are going to be 4K. Not all games are going to be 1440 60. You'll have first-party Nintendo games that might be 1080 60 or 1440 30, and that's with upscaling, and that is good. I love 4K, but let's be realistic here, and it'll be around that target, but it'll still be a huge jump up. It'll be massive. Oh my god. Once I get to the next video talking about the actual games that can come out, it is looking very nice on the third-party front. But power is going to get a big boost in performance, and I think that they could ride out this console for the next 10 years at least if they put it on the power that I'm thinking and that most people seem to think it's going to be. Now, I touched on this a little bit earlier in my last segment, but third-party support I think is going to get a massive increase. I think Square Enix and Atlus, they've already committed to a more, instead of focusing on just on PlayStation exclusives, they're going more multi-platform, especially with Persona having that Xbox deal, advertising deal. So it's already been going to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and sometimes you have a Switch release in there. But Persona 3 Remake, Reload, that's what it was called. Great game, by the way. It didn't come to the Switch. We could have seen that coming just because of the power. They could have put it on Switch, but the Switch 2 is already around the corner. I think Persona 3 Reload, the next Atlas RPG, I think it's Metaphor Refantasio, if I'm not mistaken. I think that'll come in the first year or so of the Switch. I think we'll have more on-par third-party launches, and I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be great. Square Enix, they've also said that they seem to be done with the whole PlayStation exclusivity thing, and I am really happy because, as I said, I play all my third-party stuff on my PC and then my Nintendo games on my Switch. And it really sucks when there's a PlayStation exclusive, let me tell you that. With the increase in power and Japanese devs being more open to multi-platform, and plus just Western devs, I also want to get into that, like stuff with Call of Duty and Ubisoft and EA. They might not be too popular, but they do make some okay games here every now and then. And with the general increase in power, I think we're going to see more, especially with the FTC lawsuit about the Microsoft acquisition of Blizzard, Activision Blizzard. We heard that they want to go into the next Nintendo console, and with the power that we're looking at and that seems to actually be coming, that seems very likely. So third party, I think, is going to get a big boost, and I think that'd be great. Now I want to get on to the online functionality. I think that they're going to greatly expand what you can do. They're really trying to push this Nintendo Switch Online, and while I do think they have good offerings with their virtual console replacement type thing, they're adding a bunch of games. I think it's a pretty decent service, and you can get some DLCs like the Mario Kart DLC and like a small Animal Crossing DLC, or maybe it was big, don't butcher me, and maybe the Splatoon DLC, but they're trying to add on more and more. But I think that they've noticed that we want more, or at least maybe, I don't really care, but we want like voice chat and adding friends, like being better. I remember, or I don't necessarily remember it. It happens all the time. I'm trying to play a friend on Mario Kart or Smash Bros. Online, and first of all, Mario Kart is actually pretty decent with online, but wow, Smash Bros, that is rough. And Mario Maker 2, that was a rough, that was something terrible. like truly terrible. And I think that they really want to fix that. I know that people look at Nintendo as a sort of old-fashioned company, and it is, don't get me wrong, but we haven't really seen what Furukawa, excuse me for the name pronunciation, but the new Nintendo president, we haven't really seen what he's all about, and I guess this is a real test for him. And we've seen that Nintendo as a company has been focusing on a subscription, Nintendo Switch Online, and I think they want to add to it. I do think that there will be voice chat. I should have added this in the Joy-Con section, but there should be a microphone actually built into the console, or at least that's what we've heard from pretty reputable leaks, not even leaks, shipping manifests. And I think that there will be inbuilt voice chat, not just like in games like Fortnite. And I think adding friends will get a major overhaul, and I think that the general online infrastructure will get better. That is mostly a hope, but I can hope. Now, this is all for the diehards out there. These are some more general hopes. An achievement system, please. I think it would be really cool if maybe you get a really rare type achievement, you would get a new theme, or you 100% a game and you get like a new profile icon, and they sort of do something like that, but not really. Yeah, a new theme. I just want achievements is what I'm saying. Okay, Nintendo, can you give us some achievements? I think it would be cool. I'm not even the biggest achievement guy, but I just get that rush of serotonin every time I get on Steam that, oh, you unlocked the achievement because you completed the 5th chapter of, game, and it's awesome. I just love it. Another hope, please have eShop music. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal, if you know what I'm saying. Because the Nintendo Switch, it kind of feels lifeless, and that kind of sucks. I mean, their games are the most important part for a gaming console, obviously, and those have a lot of life, but I don't know, I just wish that it had more pizzazz or something like that. It just feels a little empty, and it's a bit sad, but I really hope that they can up it up and get maybe a new UI in general. I do think they will have a better updated UI. I think it will be similar to the original, but I do think it will be updated. But I hope it's cool. I hope they have more, personality in general, and I hope we get some eShop music. Come on now. And for my final hope, I was kind of running short, so I said maybe more customization of Miis. Yeah, maybe. I know people are pretty picky with their Miis, so I don't know how well that would go over. You saw how Nintendo fans treated the avatars in Switch Sports, so I don't know how well that would go over, but I kind of like them. I don't know. I think it was cool. Maybe it was a little lifeless, but I mean, the Miis are kind of lifeless too, but we're blinded by nostalgia, and maybe a little bit more. I hope they use them more. I think that would be cool. So, in conclusion, I think the Switch 2 will have an 8-inch 1080p screen, magnetic Joy-Cons/better Joy-Cons with a backwards compatibility. It'll have more power, akin to a PS4 when in handheld, or an Xbox Series S when it's docked. I think it'll have better third-party support. I think it'll have more online functionality, for example, voice chat or adding friends overhaul. With my hopes being that they'll add an achievement system, maybe you can unlock themes through that, some eShop music, or just a general UI overhaul altogether, and maybe more customization of Miis. I don't really know all the real ones out there. If you've actually watched or listened to this entire thing, you're a G. You are a goat. This is my first video in years. I used to be really big into YouTube, but that's besides the point. So let me know how you felt about it. And hey, fun fact, 100% of my viewers are not subscribed because this is the first video. So if you want to do me a huge favor, hit the subscribe button. That'd be pretty lit. Thank you. Have a great day, and if you want to watch more of my predictions, I got a 3-part series out, so stay tuned or click the video. Bye.